Hey there guys, right, I don't have my lavalier mic on, can't even find it at the moment, and this is a mobile phone shoot. We're going to get the back off this. I did the intro to it earlier, and obviously you've watched the intro. So we're going to get the back off this, have a look. This is now 48 hours after I recorded the intro. This has carried on running as it was power cycling, and it appears that most of the marks on the screen have indeed cleared, so that's good. I've noticed there is a shimmer on the screen as well, which is pointing to bad caps, so I think for now what we're going to do is we're going to crack into this and get it open. You can now sit there in glorious HD and watch me take screws out. I could stop this, take all the screws out and then come back, but I'm having too much fun. I'll cover a few other things while I'm at it. I've really not been doing videos of late. We have been quite busy. Actually finding the time to get things clear and get the videos done has been quite difficult, and there's been a couple of days where, quite frankly, I've struggled to deal with people, let alone sit down and be productive. I've got several video ideas that I want to work through. I've got several ready to go, so hopefully we'll get those out and we'll start getting some uploads going again. Those of you outside the UK, or those of you that are in isolation and really aren't keeping abreast of what's going on, worst case scenario hasn't come to pass yet. So things have calmed down, our vehicles aren't out, normal business for us is starting to resume, so it means we can start getting back to things like this. Hopefully at some point it means I'm going to be able to go get a haircut, because I feel like a Yeti at the moment. So we're in. I'll take you out the stand in a sec and have a quick look around it. First, just walking around. There's nothing really jumping out at me. There's a couple of items for the design of the TV I'm not sure of, and we'll get a closer look. From this distance I can't see power supply caps, so that's not great. What I'm seeing is fairly typical power supply cap issues, so we might have to dig deeper than this one. Let's grab you out the stand. Right, back again. I've popped the LED off so I can see it from the back. Just tried a few quick fixes that people have mentioned. Reset the system board. We've resetted all the connectors, and nothing has helped, although everything keeps coming back to this being a power board fault. Now, I can't visibly see anything. That doesn't mean there is no fault, and the machine is quite clearly still power cycling, as you'll see in a second. There you go, it's on. There'll be a picture on the screen and it'll go again. So my options appear to be power board or an LED. I think what I'm going to do first, before we start stripping this down to get to the LEDs, is pop this power board out, make sure it's powered down, get it on the bench and just check those caps, check for dry joints and make sure that there is nothing odd going on. I'm just going to grab the meter quickly and just do a few checks, which I can't do without the phone and the tripod, and I'm not overly sure exactly what I'm looking for, so it will be easier for me to go have a quick check of the power supply rails and then come back and show you guys what we did. So I'm going to grab that now and have a quick poke around. It's possible we've got a supply that's noisy, or there is a problem with a cap that's just not immediately visible, but we'll go and have a quick poke around and I'll come back and show you what I found. So I figured I would take the CPU board out as well, so I'm going to take this over to the bench, and there's nothing on a repair that makes your heart sink faster than the feeling that someone has been here before. Someone has completely ripped the side out of that connector. That's a USB connector. That is a that down there is actually a Wi-Fi module. Yeah, the side of that's been ripped out. It wasn't me. There is no sign of the part inside here. So I get that feeling I've been here before. I think if we do get this back up and running, I'm possibly going to revise the heatsink provision on that chip, because it quite simply is getting hotter than I'm happy with, and we'll see what we can do about that. But yeah, we're going to have a poke around this. Our 5-volt power supply comes from here. It's dropped from the 12-volt power supply. I nearly said 11 because it was 11.98. That's damn as close to 12 volts. But the 5-volt power supply is in here, so we'll have a poke around in here as well. So let's get these on the bench. So, back again. Clean this board up. I've looked at those solder joints. However, I think we've gone down the wrong rabbit hole with this. Look at this logically. We have a TV that powers up, appears to boot, does most of what it should do, and then doesn't. I've done a bit of digging around, and it turns out that, yeah, we're going completely down the wrong hole. Sorry. So this board here, crappy as it is, we're not interested in, because we don't think that's a problem. This board here, yeah, it's very unlikely that this is a problem either. In fact, most likely what our problem is here. Yep, this is a software problem, guys. So I'm going to get the TV put back together. I'm going to move it to the end of a bench here, and then apparently we can go on pin 10 and 11 on the SCART and get a console. So yeah, I'm going to plug a serial console into a TV. Yeah, it's as daft as it sounds, really. Let's get it back together, power it up, plug it in, see what happens. Right, it's 2 days later, and we have one of these. Now, as far as I can tell, everything matches up. I'm not expecting any problems with this, so let's pop the board in. Having done some reading, it is possible to reflash these boards, and I'll certainly be having a go at this. However, every one of these has a unique combination of the tuner, the display panel, and the software that's on there. Let's get the right screwdriver. So it's quite difficult to guarantee you're going to get the right software if you download it from the net. The other problem is that it would appear that once these start to play up, they can become a bit of an issue. So yeah, actually finding the software and everything is quite non-trivial. I have found a script that allows me to back the firmware up over USB, which I intend to try on the old board, on this new board. Unfortunately, it's on the Bad Cats forum, and user registration is currently not working, so we're struggling with that bit. Oh, where'd that go? In theory, fitting the board is straightforward. I have some misgivings about the board, mostly the fact that it arrived, I don't know why people do this, but it arrived in bubble wrap. Not the pink anti-static bubble wrap, but normal bubble wrap. It's not anti-static, in fact, if anything, it's exactly the opposite. And yes, I could probably do this in an easier way, but this is the easiest way to get a decent camera angle on it. But yeah, arrived in normal bubble wrap, so I wouldn't be surprised if this doesn't work at all. The number of times I have ordered electronic components and things from eBay and they've arrived in that manner. Oh, that isn't... There's me struggling to attach that, and it doesn't actually appear to be attached. So, normally with TV boards and the like, chuck board in, power it on, there's not much to do. I'm not quite sure if that's going to be the case on this one. Most of my experience with working with this kind of equipment is quite old. I think the very first TV I actually did a repair on was a Philips G11. That's one step removed from valves, so I'm not that old, but the equipment I was working on was. So I'm going to pause you for a second. So you should be able to see if something happens. Right, let's just, because what we're interested in is what that light's doing. We have a Hitachi logo. And we have a TV. So let's take you out. You are going to be subjected to the state of my office. There we go. Right, I'm going to stop you again, and I think what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at that boot process on the console and see what's different. Right, so sorry, you're in my hand again. This is now very different. So you've got the usual Linux boot script. Obviously this goes on for quite a while, but with the old one we were getting to about here and we died. As you can see, we're now quite happy. There's some interesting stuff. Obviously we've got errors, we've got DLNA errors, but you've got a network down. It does make me wonder if it's worth, if I can get the other board working, to unpack the CramFS and have a play to see what we can enable, because it might actually be handy to certainly have SSH into this. From the point of view, we use this for we will use this for event stuff. Excuse the wibbly wobbly handwork. Bit of an update here. We actually do have a console. How much we can do, I'm not sure. No idea who I'm logged in as. But we have something here. How usable any of this is anyone's guess. But there's certainly some interesting things that we could in theory be poking around with in here. So yeah, I think we might poke around in here. And that stagecraft at the bottom has just made me think that if we can install random stuff on here, this would be an absolutely awesome screen to put Minecraft on. Anyway, thanks for watching again. Bye.